Okay, so get this. We're diving into this treasure map
Yeah.
for the 2026 UPSC prelims.
Yeah.
Laid out by this guy, someone who people are calling Mahi Sir. And you've probably heard this exam.
Right.
This exam's no joke. It is the gauntlet you run to become like a top-tier civil servant in India.
Absolutely.
And what's got me hooked on Mahi Sir's strategy is it's not just about like hitting the books hard, it's about hitting them smart.
Yeah, what's fascinating to me is how he really understands the psychology of this exam.
Right?
You know, he's really mapped out a plan that breaks the whole journey down
Yeah.
into these like digestible phases, each with its own focus.
Okay, so before we even crack open a book,
Yeah.
remind me, what exactly is the UPSC prelims?
Right. So the prelims are kind of like a qualifying round.
Okay.
You've got two papers, general studies, which covers a massive range of topics,
Right.
and then CSAT, which is more about like aptitude and reasoning.
Wait, so CSAT doesn't actually count towards your final score?
Yeah, it's a bit of a curveball, right?
Okay.
CSAT is qualifying only. So you need to clear a minimum score,
Okay.
but it's your performance on the mains exam that really determines your rank.
Yeah.
And speaking of curveballs, there's negative marking on the prelims.
Oh, fun.
So random guesses are a one-way ticket to a lower score.
Yeah. So strategy is everything.
Absolutely.
This isn't your average multiple choice pop quiz.
No.
This Mahi Sir guy must have some seriously clever tactics up his sleeve.
He does.
Okay.
That's why his prep plan is broken down into these three phases.
All right.
Foundation consolidation and then prelims focused.
Okay.
Each one kind of builds on the last, leading you to peak performance on exam day.
Okay, let's unpack these phases. First up, foundation.
Okay.
It runs for a whole year, from January 2024 to December 2024.
Yep.
What's the core idea here?
So this phase is all about building your knowledge base across all the core subjects.
Okay.
Mahi Sir is a big believer in starting with the insert textbooks.
Right.
They're the standard school books in India. Fantastic for building that strong foundation.
Yeah.
And then he kind of layers in specific reference books for each subject, like Laxmikanth for Indian polity or Spectrum for modern Indian history.
So it's all about mastering those fundamentals.
Absolutely. It's all about those fundamentals.
Don't worry if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all these titles.
Right.
The full list is in the show notes.
Yeah.
No need to hit pause and grab a pen just yet.
Yeah. And what I appreciate is even in this foundation phase,
Yeah.
Mahi Sir's already got you thinking about current affairs.
Yeah.
He recommends, diving into newspapers like the Hindu or Indian Express right from the start.
So it's not just about cramming facts. It's about understanding how they connect to the world around you.
Exactly. It's not just about being a student. It's about being an informed citizen
Right.
right from the beginning.
That's a pretty cool approach.
Yeah.
All right, on to consolidation.
Okay.
January 2025 through October 2025. What's the shift here?
So think of this as like turning that foundation into a fortress.
Okay.
You're revisiting everything you've learned, filling in any gaps, and starting to practice writing answers.
Right.
This is where you're really starting to actively apply your knowledge
Yeah.
and getting used to the specific demands of the UPSC exam.
And this is where current affairs become even more crucial, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mahi Sir recommends using monthly magazines that kind of condense and analyze
Great.
key events.
Yeah.
It's about going beyond just reading the news and starting to see the connections between current events
Gotcha.
and the static subjects you've been studying,
Right.
like how a recent policy decision ties back to a constitutional amendment you learned about, that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture here.
Yeah.
This is about a lot more than just memorization.
Yeah.
It's about developing this deeper understanding of how everything fits together.
Absolutely.
So finally, we're at the home stretch, the prelims focused phase from November 2025 to May 2026. Time to sharpen the swords.
This is it. This is go time.
Okay.
This phase is all about fine-tuning your exam strategy.
Okay.
The key tool here,
Yeah.
MAC tests.
Okay.
Lots of them.
How many are we talking?
Mahi Sir recommends at least 50.
50.
50.
I know you said this exam is no joke, but that number makes my head spin a little.
Yeah, that's the point. He wants you to be so familiar with the exam format,
Right.
the time pressure,
Uh-huh.
even the feel of that answer sheet, that nothing throws you off on the big day.
Right.
It's about turning those nerves into a source of energy.
So it's not just about taking the tests.
Yeah.
It's about dissecting them afterwards, right?
Right.
Figuring out where you went wrong.
Yeah.
And then using that information to target your revision.
Absolutely.
Sounds intense, but smart.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what does a day in the life of a UPSC aspirant following this plan even look like?
Let's just say it's not for those who hit the snooze button.
Right.
He advocates for a highly structured day. Mornings are dedicated to those core subjects.
Okay.
Afternoons to optional subjects or CS prep. Evenings are for newspapers and current affairs.
Yeah.
And then nights are for consolidating everything you've learned.
Wow.
It's a full-on commitment.
I admire the discipline it takes to stick to something like that.
Yeah.
You'd have to be incredibly motivated. Is this something you think you could handle?
It's definitely demanding, but think about it. This is about shaping your future.
Right.
And Mahi Sir's plan isn't just about what to study.
Yeah.
It's about how to study and even why.
Okay. I'm all for working smarter, not just harder.
Me too.
Let's delve into some of those subject-specific strategies.
Sure.
I'm especially curious about history and geography.
Okay.
Those always seem so massive to me.
Yeah, they can be daunting.
Yeah.
He's got some great tips.
Okay.
For history, he says, to really focus on modern Indian history and the freedom movements.
Okay.
It's about understanding the events and ideologies that shaped India into what it is today.
And for geography?
Mahi Sir is all about the maps.
Okay.
He wants you to visualize information,
Right.
using maps to understand locations, physical features,
Yeah.
even geopolitical dynamics.
I love that.
It's about seeing the connections, not just memorizing names.
It's amazing how a simple strategy like that can make such a difference when you're tackling such a vast subject.
Right.
So it's not just about studying more, it's about studying smarter.
Exactly.
What about Indian polity?
Yeah.
That one can be a real head scratcher.
He says dive deep into the Constitution.
Yeah. Okay.
Understand the articles, the amendments, the foundational principles.
Okay.
It's not just about knowing the rules. It's about understanding the why behind them.
So it's almost like becoming a constitutional lawyer in a way, right?
Yeah, in a sense.
You're not just reading it, you're interpreting it.
Exactly.
What about economics?
Yeah.
I found that one pretty intimidating.
He keeps a practical focus on understanding those key economic indicators,
Like what?
like GDP inflation and interest rates, and stay updated on government policies and economic trends.
So he wants you to be able to connect the dots between theory and the real world.
Exactly. He wants you to see economics in action, not just as equations in a textbook.
That makes sense. Okay, last one.
All right.
Environment.
Yeah.
It's such a hot topic these days, and not just because of global warming.
Right.
What's Mahi Sir's take on tackling that beast?
He wants you to understand the big picture: climate change, biodiversity,
Right.
environmental policies, the whole shebang.
Okay.
It's about recognizing how those issues are all interconnected and how they impact India specifically.
So it's not just about knowing the science, it's about understanding the political and social dimensions as well.
Exactly.
This is making me realize that the UPSC exam isn't just a test of knowledge.
No.
It's a test of understanding. It's about connecting the dots between all these different areas.
Exactly. And that's what makes Mahi Sir's approach so unique.
Right.
It's not just giving you the pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah.
He's showing you how to put them all together.
Okay, so we've covered the phases, the daily grind, and
Right.
even some subject-specific strategies.
Yep.
But let's circle back to those mock tests for a minute.
Sure.
You mentioned that he recommends a whopping 50 of them. Why so many?
It's more than just familiarity. It's about developing the mental stamina
Okay.
to sit through a lengthy exam,
Okay.
managing your time effectively,
Mm-hmm.
and making strategic decisions under pressure.
So it's almost like training for a marathon, right?
Training
It's
for-
building up your endurance,
Yeah.
your pacing your mental toughness.
And those 50 mock tests are like those long training runs
Okay.
that push you to your limits
Mm-hmm.
and help you identify your weaknesses.
That makes sense. But
Yeah.
let's be honest, preparing for the UPSC exam isn't just about the academic stuff.
Right.
It's a mental marathon too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
There are going to be moments of doubt,
Yeah.
stress, maybe even burnout.
Of course.
How does Mahi Sir address that mental game?
Well, he's quite practical in his advice. He recommends using time management techniques
Uh-huh.
like the Pomodoro technique
Right.
to stay focused and avoid overwhelm.
Okay.
And he also emphasizes the importance of taking breaks,
Right.
practicing meditation, or engaging in light exercises to manage stress levels.
So it's about finding that balance
Exactly.
between intense study and taking care of your mental well-being.
Absolutely.
Now, I love this quote from Mahi Sir. The journey of UPSC preparation is as significant as the destination.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's such a powerful reminder that this is about more than just getting a job.
Right.
It's about personal growth and transformation.
It's about developing the intellectual curiosity,
Right.
the analytical skills, and the resilience that will serve you well, regardless of your ultimate career path.
He also emphasizes that failures are learning opportunities.
Amazing.
It's about picking yourself up,
Yeah,
analyzing your mistakes, and coming back stronger.
so important.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have...
From understanding the exam structure to Mahi Sir's phased preparation plan,
Right.
subject-specific strategies, and even the mental game.
It's a comprehensive roadmap designed to equip aspirants with the knowledge, skills, and mindset needed to conquer the UPSC prelims.
It really is, but, we've thrown a lot of information your way.
Yeah, we have.
What stands out to you as the listener?
I'm curious too.
What feels particularly helpful or maybe a little overwhelming?
Yeah, for me, that structured daily schedule,
Yeah,
it's both impressive and a bit intimidating.
right.
It's clear that succeeding in this exam demands serious dedication.
I agree. It's not a walk in the park, but what I find insightful is how Mahi Sir emphasizes balancing the static subjects with current affairs.
Right.
It's not enough to just memorize facts.
No.
You need to understand how those concepts play out in the real world.
It's like he's saying, don't just be a bookworm, be an informed citizen.
Exactly, and that's what makes this exam so unique. It's not just about testing your knowledge. It's about assessing your ability to analyze, connect, and apply that knowledge to real-world situations.
Yeah, it's about being able to think on your feet
Right.
and make those connections.
Speaking of connecting, let's touch on those recommended resources again.
Okay.
We mentioned a few key books, but the full list in the show notes is pretty extensive.
It is.
It covers everything from ancient history to environmental science.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to take in,
Yeah.
and that brings up another aspect of UPSC prep resource management.
Absolutely.
You're not expected to read everything cover to cover, right?
Right. It's about choosing the resources that align with your strengths and weaknesses
Okay.
and using them strategically.
Right.
That's where guidance like Mahi Sir's can be so valuable.
Yeah.
He's done the groundwork, curated the resources, and created a roadmap to navigate this sea of information.
He's like a Sherpa guiding you up Everest.
Exactly.
But even with the best guide, the climb is still a challenge.
Oh, for sure.
We talked about stress management,
Right.
but what about motivation?
Yeah.
How do you stay pumped up
Yeah, that's a good question.
over such a long and demanding prep period?
That's where Mahi Sir's motivational mantra comes back in.
Right.
Remember, he said, the journey of UPSC preparation is as significant as the destination.
Yeah.
It's about finding meaning and purpose in the process itself, not just fixating on the end goal.
So it's about embracing the challenge,
Mm-hmm.
the personal growth, and the opportunity to contribute to society through public service.
Exactly. And it's also about celebrating those small victories along the way.
Sure.
Each concept you master, each mock test you conquer,
Yeah.
each hurdle you overcome, those are all steps in the right direction.
It's about focusing on the progress, not just the destination.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget the power of community.
Oh, yeah. So important.
Surrounding yourself with like-minded foes.
Yeah.
Sharing your struggles and successes can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. Study groups, online forums, mentorship programs.
Yeah.
They provide a support system, a source of motivation,
Yeah.
and even a healthy dose of competition to keep you on your toes.
And remember, setbacks are inevitable.
Oh, they are.
There will be days you feel overwhelmed, discouraged, maybe even like giving up.
Yeah, that's part of the process.
That's when resilience comes in.
Right.
It's about acknowledging those feelings,
Yeah.
processing them, and finding ways to bounce back.
Remember, every successful UPSC aspirant has faced those same challenges.
Right.
They've stumbled, fallen, but gotten back up and kept going.
It's about having the grit and determination to persevere even when things get tough.
Absolutely.
And that's a quality that will serve you well, not just in this exam, but in life itself.
It's like a training ground for developing the mental fortitude to face any challenge.
So let's recap what we've learned from Mahi Sir's approach.
Okay.
Starting early,
Yep.
balancing those static subjects with current affairs,
Right.
and making practice and revision non-negotiable.
Absolutely. Those are the pillars.
And let's not forget managing your time,
Mhm.
staying motivated,
Yeah.
and building resilience.
So important.
It's a holistic approach,
Mhm.
recognizing that success in the UPSC exam requires not just knowledge,
Oh,
but also the right skills and mindset.
It really does.
Now, we've spent a lot of time talking about what to study and how to study.
Yeah, we have.
But what about the why?
That's a great point.
Why is this exam so important in the first place?
Well, the UPSC Civil Services Examination isn't just about landing a prestigious job.
Right.
It's about joining a group of individuals who are entrusted with shaping the future of India.
That's right. We're talking about roles
Yeah.
in the Indian Administrative Service, the IAS,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Indian Police Service, the IPS, the
Yeah.
Indian Foreign Service, the IFS,
Yeah.
and many others, positions that hold immense power and responsibility.
Absolutely.
These are the people who implement policies and force laws,
Yeah.
represent India on the global stage, and work tirelessly to address the nation's challenges.
So it's not just about personal ambition. It's about public service,
Right.
about making a real difference in the lives of millions.
It's a calling, a passion to contribute to the greater good.
And that passion is palpable in Mahi Sir's guidance.
Yeah.
He's not just teaching students how to pass an exam.
Right.
He's inspiring them to become leaders,
Right.
to embrace the challenges and rewards of public service.
So it's about more than just cramming facts. It's
Yeah.
about developing a deep understanding of India's history, its socioeconomic complexities, its political landscape, and its place in the world.
It's about cultivating critical thinking skills,
Yeah.
problem-solving abilities, and the ethical compass to navigate the complexities of governance and policymaking.
It's about becoming a well-rounded individual,
Absolutely.
equipped with the knowledge, skills, and values to serve the nation with integrity and dedication.
And that's what makes the UPSC exam so much more than just a test of your academic prowess.
Right.
It's a crucible for forging leaders, for shaping the future of India.
Now, that's a powerful thought, but let's bring it back to our listener.
Okay.
We've explored the roadmap, the challenges, the motivation, and the significance of this exam.
Yeah.
Now we want to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Considering the depth and breadth of the UPSC syllabus,
Yeah.
what aspect of the preparation process feels most daunting to you?
What unique strategies might you use to tackle it? Share your thoughts, your anxieties, your aspirations.
Right.
We're all on this journey of knowledge and discovery together.
We've talked about the what and the how of UPSC prep,
Right.
but what about the who?
Yeah.
Who is this Mahi Sir, and what makes his perspective so valuable?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And honestly, we don't have a ton of background on him
Yeah.
from these sources,
Mm.
but it's clear he's someone who deeply understands this exam,
Right.
both its academic demands and the mental fortitude it requires.
What's intriguing is how he blends those two aspects.
Absolutely.
He doesn't just throw a reading list at you. He gives you a framework for thinking about the entire preparation journey.
He's like that wise mentor who's been there, done that,
Right.
and wants to share his hard-won insights to help others succeed.
And his emphasis on starting early is key.
It is.
This isn't an exam you can cram for at the last minute.
You got to put in the time.
It takes time to build that solid foundation,
Yeah.
to internalize the vast amount of information, and to develop the critical thinking skills required.
It's almost like he's encouraging a lifestyle change, not just a study plan.
Right.
It's about integrating UPSC preparation into your daily routine,
Right.
making it a part of who you are, not just something you do.
That's a great way to put it. It's
Yeah.
about cultivating a mindset of continuous learning, of staying informed, of engaging with the world around you.
Absolutely.
And that's valuable regardless of whether you ultimately crack the UPSC exam or not.
Even if the civil services aren't your end goal,
Right.
the skills and knowledge you gain through this preparation process
Yeah.
can be applied to any career path.
Yeah. So even if you decide to go a different route, prepping for the UPSC is like an investment in yourself.
It's an opportunity to challenge yourself, to expand your horizons,
Right.
and to develop a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you.
Well said. Now, before we wrap up completely,
Yeah.
I want to go back to those subject-specific strategies for a moment.
All right, let's do it.
We skimmed over them earlier, but they're worth revisiting.
I agree.
These strategies reveal a lot about Mahi Sir's approach to learning.
Yeah, it's not just about memorizing facts.
Right.
It's about understanding the underlying principles and connections.
For example, his tip for geography,
Mm-hmm.
to use maps extensively. It's brilliant.
Oh, it's a great one.
It's about visualizing information,
Yeah.
seeing the connections between physical features, climate patterns, population distribution, and even historical events.
It's about making information come alive,
Right.
transforming abstract concepts into something tangible and relatable.
And his advice for history to focus on modern history and the freedom movements,
Yeah.
that's about understanding the events and ideologies that shaped contemporary India.
It's about connecting the past to the present, understanding the roots of the challenges and opportunities facing the nation today.
And with Indian polity diving deep into the Constitution,
Yeah.
it's about understanding the framework of India's democracy, the principles of governance, and the rights and responsibilities of citizens.
It's about becoming an informed and engaged citizen,
Yeah.
understanding how the system works
Right.
and how you can participate in shaping its future.
And even with economics, which can seem intimidating to many,
Hmm.
he breaks it down to the essentials, understanding basic economic indicators, and keeping up with government policies and trends.
It's about developing economic literacy,
Okay.
being able to interpret data, and understanding how economic decisions impact your life and the lives of others.
And then there's the environment, which is becoming increasingly crucial.
For sure.
He emphasizes understanding climate change, biodiversity, and environmental policies.
It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of our planet,
Right.
the impact of human actions on the environment, and the need for sustainable solutions.
It's about becoming a responsible steward of our planet,
Yeah.
understanding the challenges and opportunities presented by climate change, and advocating for policies that protect our environment for future generations.
These subject-specific strategies, seemingly simple on the surface,
Yeah.
reveal a deeper philosophy of learning.
Absolutely.
It's about connecting the dots, understanding the big picture, and applying knowledge to real-world situations.
And that's the essence of the UPSC exam, isn't it?
It really is.
It's not just about regurgitating facts, it's about demonstrating your ability to think critically, to analyze complex issues, and to formulate solutions.
It's about proving that you have the intellectual capacity, the mental fortitude, and the ethical compass to serve the nation effectively.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I encourage you, the listener, to reflect on what you've learned.
Yeah, take some time to think about it.
What resonated with you? What surprised you? What will you take away from this exploration of the UPSC exam and Mahi Sir's insightful guidance?
Remember, this is just the starting point.
Right.
The journey of knowledge and discovery is ongoing. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep striving to become the best version of yourself.
Well said.
Thank you. You know, it's interesting how Mahi Sir emphasizes not just like what you learn, but the process of learning.
Right.
He encourages this like active engagement with the material, like
Oh.
with his suggestion to use maps for geography.
Right. It's not just about memorizing capitals and rivers.
Right.
It's about visualizing how geography shapes history, politics, even economics.
Exactly.
It's like seeing those connections come to life.
Yeah, and it makes me think about how he approaches history focusing on modern India and the freedom movements.
Right.
It's about understanding how the past has shaped India's present
Right.
and how those historical events inform the challenges the country faces today.
It's like he's saying, don't just learn dates and names, understand the narrative.
Yeah, get that deeper context
Right.
and that deep dive into the Constitution for Indian polity.
Oh, yeah.
That's brilliant. It's not just about knowing the articles,
Right.
but about understanding the principles of Indian democracy and how they're applied in the real world.
It's like he's turning you into a mini constitutional expert.
Right.
And even his approach to economics, a subject that can seem really dry,
Yeah.
is about making it relevant.
Yeah, he wants you to grasp those key economic indicators,
Yeah.
see how government policies play out, and understand how those things impact everyday life.
It's about making economics relatable, not just theoretical.
Exactly.
And then there's the environment.
Yeah.
It's clear that Mahi Sir recognizes just how crucial this topic is, not only for India, but globally.
Right.
He wants you to see the big picture: climate change, biodiversity, environmental policies, how they all connect and impact each other.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It is, and it makes me think back to that structured daily schedule we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
That kind of rigor takes serious discipline.
It does.
Don't you think that could lead to burnout?
That's a great point.
I mean, how does Mahi Sir address that potential pitfall?
You can't just run on willpower forever.
Right.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
And I think that's where his emphasis on stress management comes in.
Right.
He's not just saying work hard.
Right.
He's saying work smart and take care of yourself.
Right. He recommends those practical techniques like the Pomodoro technique for focus, as well as things like taking breaks, meditation, and even light exercise to keep your mind and body fresh.
I think what I appreciate about his approach is that holistic view.
Right.
He recognizes that success in the UPSC exam isn't just about knowledge.
Right.
It's about managing your energy, your time, and your mindset.
It's about being a well-rounded individual, not just a study machine.
Exactly.
And speaking of mindset, remember that quote of his, "The journey of UPSC preparation is as significant as the destination.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That really resonated with me.
It's about finding meaning in the process, not just focusing on the end goal.
It's about embracing the challenge, the growth, the opportunity to learn and develop yourself regardless of the outcome.
And I think that's an important message, especially given how competitive this exam is.
It's easy to get caught up in the pressure
Right.
and lose sight of the bigger picture. But Mahi Sir reminds you that this journey is about more than just getting a job. It's about becoming the best version of yourself.
And it's not just about individual effort either.
Right.
Remember his emphasis on the power of community.
Oh, yeah. So important. Study groups, online forums, mentors, those can be lifelines when things get tough.
Sharing your struggles and celebrating those small victories with others who understand what you're going through can make a huge difference.
Huge difference. It's about building that support system and recognizing that you're not alone on this journey.
Right. It's about remembering that everyone stumbles, everyone doubts themselves at times, but it's about picking yourself up, learning from those setbacks, and keep moving forward.
And that's a skill that will serve you well no matter what path you choose in life.
Right.
So let's shift gears a bit. We've talked a lot about the how and the why of preparing for the UPSC.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the who.
Okay.
Who is this Mahi Sir, and what makes his perspective so valuable?
That's a good question. We don't actually have much background on him in the material we're looking at.
Right, we don't know a ton about him, but
From his insights and the structure of his approach, it's clear he has a deep understanding of this exam, not just academically, but also the mental and emotional challenges it presents.
what strikes me is how he blends practical advice with a deeper philosophy of learning.
Yeah.
He's not just teaching you to pass an exam, he's encouraging you to become a lifelong learner.
And I think that's one of the reasons his emphasis on starting early resonates so much.
Yeah.
This isn't something you can cram for at the last minute.
No, it's a process.
It's about building that foundation, internalizing those vast amounts of information, and developing the critical thinking skills the exam demands.
It's almost like he's advocating for a shift in mindset,
Right.
a commitment to continuous growth and learning that goes beyond just this one exam.
That makes me think, even if you decide not to pursue the civil services, the skills you gain through this preparation process are incredibly valuable.
Oh, absolutely.
The ability to analyze information, communicate, effectively think, critically solve problems, those are assets in any field.
And let's not forget the resilience you develop.
Right.
The ability to persevere through challenges, bounce back from setbacks, and maintain focus over a long period.
Those are qualities that will serve you well in any career path, any personal endeavor, any aspect of life, really.
It really is.
So in a way, preparing for the UPSC exam is like an investment in yourself.
It's an opportunity to challenge yourself, expand your horizons, and gain a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you.
It's about more than just getting a job. It's about becoming a more well-rounded and capable individual.
I like that.
And that brings us back to those subject-specific strategies.
Okay.
We touched on them earlier, but I think it's worth digging a little deeper.
I agree. These strategies reveal a lot about how Mahi Sir views learning and understanding.
Right. He's not just about rote memorization. He's about connecting the dots and seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Let's start with geography. His advice to use maps extensively is brilliant.
It's about visualizing information, seeing how geography shapes history, politics, even economics.
It's about making those connections come alive, taking those abstract concepts and making them real and tangible.
And his suggestion for history, focusing on modern India and the freedom movements, that's about understanding how the past has shaped India's present.
Right. Those historical events inform the challenges and opportunities India faces today.
And then there's Indian polity. His approach is to dive deep into the Constitution.
Yeah.
Not just learn articles, but understand the principles of Indian democracy and how they're applied in the real world.
It's about becoming an informed and engaged citizen, understanding how the system works and how you can participate in shaping its future.
Even his approach to economics is about making it relatable.
Yeah.
He wants you to grasp those key economic indicators, see how government policies play out, and understand how it all impacts everyday life.
It's about recognizing that economics isn't just a bunch of theories. It's a force that shapes our lives.
Right.
And then there's the environment. Mahi Sir clearly understands how crucial this topic is.
Yeah.
He encourages a holistic view looking at climate change, biodiversity, environmental policies, and how they all connect.
It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of our planet, the impact of human actions, and the need for sustainable solutions.
It's about becoming a responsible steward of our planet and understanding that the decisions we make today will have a profound impact on future generations.
All of these subject-specific strategies, as simple as they seem on the surface, actually point to a deeper philosophy of learning.
Yeah, it's about connecting the dots, seeing the bigger picture, and applying knowledge to real-world situations.
And that's really the essence of the UPSC exam, isn't it?
Mm.
It's not about regurgitating facts. It's about demonstrating your ability to think critically, analyze complex issues, and come up with solutions.
It's about showing that you have the intellectual capacity, the mental fortitude, and the ethical compass to serve the nation effectively.
Exactly.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to encourage you, the listener, to reflect on what you've learned.
Take a moment. Think about it.
What resonated with you? What surprised you? What will you take away from this exploration of the UPSC exam and Mahi Sir's insightful guidance?
Remember, this is just the beginning.
Hmm.
The journey of knowledge and discovery is ongoing. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep striving to become the best version of yourself.
It's amazing how these seemingly simple strategies reveal a deeper way of thinking about learning.
Yeah.
It's not just about cramming information, it's about making connections and understanding the why behind the what.
He's definitely got a knack for taking these potentially dry subjects
Right.
and making them come alive.
Right.
Who would have thought that maps could be the key
I know.
to unlocking a deeper understanding of history, politics, even economics?
Right. It's all about seeing those connections.
Yeah.
Understanding how geography shapes events and influences decisions.
And his approach to history.
Right.
Focusing on modern India and the freedom movements.
Yeah.
It gives you that context. It helps you understand how India got to where it is today.
It's like he's saying, don't just learn about the past, learn from the past.
Exactly.
And then there's this deep dive into the Constitution for Indian polity. It's not just about memorizing articles. It's about grasping the core principles of Indian democracy.
It's about becoming an informed citizen, understanding your rights and responsibilities, and seeing how those principles play out in the real world.
And even with economics, a subject that can make some people's eyes glaze over, he finds a way to make it relevant.
Yeah. Make it real.
Understanding those key economic indicators,
Yeah.
seeing how government policies impact people's lives.
Right.
It's about connecting the dots between theory and reality.
It's about demystifying economics and giving you the tools to understand the forces that shape our world.
And then there's the environment,
Right.
a topic that's impossible to ignore these days.
Yeah, front and center.
Mahi Sir gets that.
Yeah.
He wants you to see the big picture, how climate change, biodiversity, and environmental policies are all intertwined.
Now it all fits together.
It's about understanding the science, but also the social, political, and economic implications.
For sure.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and that the choices we make today will have a ripple effect for generations to come.
What a big responsibility.
It is. It's interesting how all of these subject-specific strategies, as simple as they seem on the surface, actually point to a deeper philosophy of learning.
It's about connecting the dots, understanding the why behind the what, and applying knowledge to real-world situations.
And that's what makes the UPSC exam so unique.
Absolutely.
It's not just about proving that you've memorized a bunch of facts. It's about demonstrating that you can think critically, analyze complex issues, and come up with solutions.
It's about showing that you have the intellectual capacity, the mental stamina, and the ethical compass to serve the nation effectively.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Mahi Sir's approach to preparing for the UPSC exam, I want to leave you with a thought.
Okay.
Whether you're actually planning to take this exam or not, the principles we've discussed today can be applied to any area of learning, any challenge you face in life.
It's about embracing that journey of continuous learning, developing that intellectual curiosity, and striving to become a more informed, engaged, and well-rounded individual.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, keep pushing yourself to learn and grow. And remember, the most important lessons are often learned.
Where?
Not in the classroom, but out in the world.
I agree.
Engaging with ideas,
Absolutely.
with people, and with the challenges that life throws your way.